برای اینکه 6 برنده جایزه حقوق بشری رها رو به شما معرفی کنیم. 6 مدافع حقوق بشر ایرانی که برای حفظ و ارتقاء حقوق بشر در ایران تلاش کرده و می‌کنند. از میان کسانی که برای این جایزه معرفی شده‌اند، هیئت ژوری 6 نفر رو انتخاب کرده. هیئت ژوری شامل خانم شیرین عبادی، برنده جایزه نوبل، و وکیل مدافع حقوق بشر، خانم کارولینا یانوزفسکی که ایشون هم وکیل حقوق بشر و عضو هیئت مدیره سودویند هستند، و آقای آرون رودس که دهه‌ها عمر خودشون رو برای حقوق بشر سپری کردند، از بنیانگذاران و محقق اصلی پروژه حقوق آزادی و مدیر اجرایی سابق فدراسیون بین المللی هلسینکی برای حقوق بشر هستند. من سخن رو به خانم کارولینا یانوزفسکی میسپارم که در مورد جایزه حقوق بشری رها و نقش سودویند در ارائه این جایزه صحبت بفرمایید. خواهش میکنم.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and also from my side, good morning and welcome to today's gathering. I'm happy to speak on behalf of Sudwind. I was asked to briefly explain to you the organization Sudwind and its project concerning human rights defenders in Iran called All Human Rights for All in Iran. And also the idea behind the Human Rights Award. As a board member of Sudwind, I will first start with the organization. Sudwind is an Austrian NGO committed to further sustainable development and promote the protection and respect of human rights. One main area of activity is the promotion and protection of workers' rights with regard to different sectors, business sectors, such as the textile industry, the chocolate manufacturing industry, or the IT sector. But Sudwind primarily is firmly believing that human rights knowledge is an important tool to empowerment, and that's why Sudwind's activities are strongly focusing on human rights education, training, awareness raising. It has projects in schools, engaging with pupils and teachers, but it also organizes workshops for adults interested in this field and professionals, and also with regard or in the context of the project Human Rights Defenders in Iran, it also has important workshops to assist their work. Within this context of creating a human rights sensitive environment, human rights defenders in the work of addressing human rights concerns, challenging governmental practices, collecting and disseminating information on human rights and on violations thereof, supporting victims of human rights violations, in all these tasks, they play a crucial role in furthering the human rights project. Acknowledging this important contribution of human rights defenders to the whole human rights project, and knowing that Iranian human rights defenders, both within Iran and abroad, are facing many challenges, harassment of a severe kind, and are therefore in need of support, be it of technical assistance, human rights training, or advocacy in their cause in order to reduce pressure on them. Sudwind has launched in October 2012 the project All Human Rights for All in Iran, which is funded by the EU and the Austrian Development Agency. And apropos this phrase, all human rights for all, I assume it was borrowed from a slogan which was coined in Vienna in 1993 during the Vienna World Conference on Human Rights. And I think it's worth mentioning because it was unprecedented how civil society engaged there and how much impetus they gave on human rights, on the human rights system, and on the creation of a new understanding of human rights, that human rights are universal, equal and interdependent, that human rights concern women, or also that human rights need stronger structures within the UN. And so, for instance, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in the UN was then established. So this strong, active representation of civil society has been and is still the motor for the human rights movement. And this is exactly what Sudwind, with this Human Rights Award, wants to acknowledge and honor with respect to Iranian human rights defenders. Sudwind's endeavors started earlier than 2012, already providing assistance, giving direct avenue for human rights activists to the Human Rights Council, assisting in establishing links with also the special procedures, such as the Special Rapporteur on the human rights situations with respect to Iran. And this award, the Raho Human Rights Award, is now, as I said, kind of a nice, an important symbol to once again acknowledge this contribution, and especially of the 6 human rights defenders which have been awarded this prize several weeks ago. And they are representative for the impressively active and courageous Iranian civil society. The 6 laureates have been chosen on the basis of their tireless and relentless dedication and efforts to the human rights situation, to the improvement of the human rights situations in Iran. They are engaged in different fields: women's rights, children's rights, minority rights, workers' rights, student rights. And in addition, why we've chosen those 6 was to make it public. Their situation might not be as public as with others, and because they are in difficult situations, many of them are still detained, arbitrarily detained. We have thought of those 6. Tonight, the 6 Human Rights Award winners will receive an award sculpture. You see it just right in front of me. Designed by the Iranian artist Behruz Heshmat. And not only we want to thank them for their efforts, but this whole project heavily relies on commitment, contribution, efforts, dedicated time by so many close colleagues and friends of Sudwind, Iranian activists. And on behalf of Sudwind, I would like to say how thankful we are for all these essential contributions and support. Thank you, and I would like to hand over to us.